All right. Welcome back, Truth Nation. I'm Tonya Wilder, the host of The Truth Ain't in Us. And if you're here for the very first time, welcome to the show. We welcome you. We welcome you. And we ask that you please like and subscribe to our page. And please hit the notification button. So anytime we go live, you will be notified. Okay. And also, I want to say that because you're here on The Truth Ain't in Us, we do not sugarcoat anything. We talk about real conversations and we say things that people are thinking about, but they're afraid to say out loud. Okay. But before we get started with the show tonight, again, I'd like for you guys to like and subscribe to our show and please hit the notification button. Uh, we're trying to really build something here and we appreciate all of you who have actually followed us from day one and continue to watch us as we continue to grow. We thank you for that. Okay. And before we get started, let me see. Why am I getting a message? Hold on. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. Bear with me. Okay. Um, so before I get started, before we actually jump into the show tonight, I want to go ahead and introduce um, my guest host, which is Dondi, Don of all Dons. Welcome, welcome.
What's up? How are you?
I am doing great. We have
Awesome.
a great show uh, tonight.
Let's go.
And yeah, and guys, just so you know, hold on a second. I'm having some technical difficulties. Give me 1 second. Okay, I see. Just bear with me, guys. Yes. So I wanted to say before I even brought you on, I wanted to tell the people how confident you are, opinionated you are, and that you always bring a perspective that people are, people that are, they're talking about your perspective and what you bring to the table here on The Truth Ain't in Us.
Well, I
So,
appreciate you. I,
so I got to ask you, so for those who are watching, just so you know what our topic is for tonight, um, it's simple. Is justice blind? Okay, and we're going to be talking about the Afroman case tonight. And many people want to know, is justice really blind or is it selective? And what is your take on that statement alone? I don't want to get into what we're going to talk about tonight, but how do you feel about that statement when you hear that, Dondi? What do you think?
it's just as blind or selective.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would definitely say it isn't blind. It's definitely selective. We know that it's just being African Americans,
Mm-hmm.
people of color, that look at what they're doing to ICE. Look at what, it's a lot of stuff. And look what we have dealt with for 400 years. And, so it's very selective. I heard some the other day, just real quick, that there was an officer that he got in some type of trouble or something. But what happened was he got in trouble for speaking out. And when he spoke out about, because when they did a raid in a white home, they wouldn't lay everybody down. But when they did a raid in the black home, they
Mm.
laid everybody down every time, kids and all. So is it selective? Of course it is. But that's my take. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I think that's because they're threatened by us, and not because of strength, but because of our knowledge. You know,
Yeah,
we're
and then we won't lose. We keep getting up.
yep,
No matter if you
we
kill
are
us,
resilient.
beat us down, put us in prison, throw away the key. We get out. We get up, and our kids do it for us. So it is what it is, man. So we're very resilient, and we're gonna keep getting after it every time. So
Absolutely. And I'm going to change the topic here a little bit before we jump into hot topics. But this week for me, I had a great experience. I don't know if you guys can see looking at my face. I didn't put on any makeup tonight only because I had some Botox done last week, and I also had some fillers. I had to get rid of that laugh line. You see a little bit right here, but they said in 2 weeks you won't be able to see anything. And
well, you look great.
yeah, black don't crack, but I did have a little laugh line, a deep laugh line going on right there, and that's gone away, and I am thankful uh that it's gone. And when I put my makeup on, I shouldn't have that crease there anymore. Ladies, when we put our makeup on and we got that deep laugh line, it creases right there. And I do have two great makeup artists, by the way, that definitely minimized the crease before I got this done. So you wouldn't see it when I had my makeup on. But when I do my makeup myself, I can still see it. Okay, I'm not the expert like they are,
I have no
but
idea what you're talking about, but okay. I have nothing. I have no enhancements. I have no makeup on. I have nothing. Just no black spray, no nothing.
no black spray. So let me ask you this: do you go and get facials?
uh, Not really.
No,
Wash my face every morning with a new rag,
yeah,
with a new
but no
towel.
facials
Nah, I
because
don't get.
some
I,
men
I
do
I
go get facials.
I get it, but I'm a man's man. I don't get pampered at all. I remember one time I got my my ex wife talked me into going to get my feet done. Man, my feet broke out. Soon as my feet broke it, I said, "I told you I ain't supposed to be here." And jumped out and got up
Hold
out of there.
on. What do you mean your feet broke out?
Man,
Like
I don't know
broke out
what happened.
how?
I got eczema, so I can't just put my, like, so I don't know what happens. I just like I told you I'm not supposed to be here. And got up out of there. That's
Not
why.
the feet
So if
broke
I go
out.
get a
Lord
facial,
have
my
mercy.
my face is gonna just I don't know. No, I haven't.
Well, did you tell them that you had eczema, that you have sensitive skin?
Man, I don't know what they were saying. They was I didn't go try to act like what they were saying. I can't tell you what I did my iPhone 25 years ago.
Oh my God,
I would
that
have
is
translated what
hilarious.
they said. I couldn't understand it.
Well, you look great, but some people do need facials. I think it's good for men to get facials and to treat themselves and pamper themselves at the end of the day. So you don't do massages either. None of that. So you just when you say you're a man's man, so if somebody is getting a massage, that makes them not a man's man.
Nah, they just got time.
Okay.
That's what they want to do. I'd rather go do some man stuff. I'd rather go play basketball or go out in the yard and do something. You know what I mean? Go to the barbershop, talk a little junk. I don't know. I'm not.
You're just not doing that. You're not getting no massages. You're not getting no
Now, if I go with a lady or something like that, my lady tells me to go or something, or she wants to go, probably of course I'll do stuff like that, but not really.
okay. I hear you. None of that. Okay. So how was your weekend? Anything interesting happened over the weekend for you? I know you said that you were doing a post about something concerning your kids' sports this weekend, and you was about to get it popping or
Well, nah,
cracking or
I just always
what?
get it popping. It wasn't. It wasn't this weekend. It just been. I just think, I train my kids a certain type of way, to and my kid wants it. I mean, he really works out like 3 to 4 times a day. And a lot of
What does he
people,
play?
he plays basketball and baseball, but he really loves basketball and gets after it. And he
Mm-hmm.
does it at a certain level that I'm just impressed in. And so, and I'm not saying that just because I'm his father, like because I'm his worst critic. I tell him, this ain't for you, bro. Might need to do something else or something. But then he comes back again and does something that just amazes me as a father, as a coach, as a trainer, as so I'm 100% 10 toes behind them. And just some little lame stuff happened with them that just happened. I don't want to express it now. I'll express it on like a sports outlet. We got a documentary going on with them and everything. So
Mm-hmm.
they'll hear about it through there. But
You
it was
can give us a little bit.
well, well, I'm saying just people hating, you know what I mean? And just not letting a dog be a dog, not letting a dog eat. In certain situations, I think sports is about being a little bit barbaric. Back in
Mm-hmm.
the day, in the Roman times and BC times, if you didn't win, you died. And I'm not saying that literally, but you need to express yourself like that when you're performing. You need to go after it. Like if you're gonna die, let's die now. Let's get after it. Let's do
Well,
everything in
people
our
are
power.
gonna always talk trash when it comes to sports.
Well, it's not even talking trash, but it's when the powers that be take the opportunity away completely from a young man that's trying to do something better with his life, that's not selling drugs, that's not in a gang, that's not having sex with a whole bunch of women, that's just being a good young man. Now, he has
Mm-hmm.
his flaws and he has his things that he needs to get better, but he's a great student, AB student, been the whole time. So just things like that I just want, you know, the not just for me to see, but the world to see. He's a much better man than what I was at 17 and 18 years old. Believe that.
Okay,
And I
I
was
do.
and I was some I was I'll get after it too out there. So the
you
apple
was
don't and I always say it, the apple
you
don't
or
fall.
something else is what you're saying.
Yeah, the apple don't fall too far from the tree. And I get in trouble for a saying. And I just want to say this, and this is put a little bit more. And a lot of people hate when I say this, but I have a saying that I've been saying since my boy been 5 years old. Because let me tell you why. Because I use the front yard, I use the side yard, I use the park up the street. I went out to every basketball court with my kids. I spent the time. And I said, if you want to do this, son, this is what you have to do. But I have a saying. I said, if you want to win, put that Thomas boy in. If you want to win it all, you gotta let him ball. And so
Mm.
many people having a problem with that. And I say it in the most pivotal moments while my son's at the free throw line and he's down by 1 point and he got to score. I say it then, and
So
the crowd
you're getting the Dion treatment. 'Cause
for
you know how they
sure,
treated
for sure,
Dion when it came
for
to his
sure,
kids.
for sure. And
Yes.
I don't got half of the power Dion got. Now I'm a lot of the man Dion is, but I don't have a lot of the power and a lot of respect and a lot of the, because a lot of people are out here. There are a lot of people that have been awarded with the success have been exactly awarded because of who they are, or
Mm-hmm.
because of what they know, because of politics, not because of how hard they work, the grind that they put in, the energy that they display, the good sportsmanship, the good character, all that. And people look against that because they know, guess why? Because they know if I let you do it, you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
shine and I don't get nothing from it. And I might get my job taken if the power goes to you. And it's
Yeah.
just a lot of that goes on in the world. But let's get back to the truth. Let's get back to the people that are really getting after it. Let's get back to the dogs. Let's get back to the real men. Let's really dig down. Let a dog eat. Stop putting a dog in jail. You see what I'm saying? Stop being
well,
selective with
some
justice.
some dogs belong in jail. Some
Well,
dogs belong behind bars,
Well, what I mean, I'm talking about what
depending
you.
on what
I'm
they
talking about
do.
sports. I'm talking about sports
Okay.
right now. I'm talking about
Okay.
sports, and
Now,
even in
some
the
of them
world,
too.
but in
Some
a
of them
positive.
too.
Like John Lewis said, let's get in some good trouble.
Yep.
You know what I'm
Well.
saying? Get in some good trouble. You know what I mean? A lot of people scared to get in good trouble. The trouble I get in ain't gonna land me in jail for about 5, 6 days because I can't get a little bail money. What you talking about?
Oh my God. Well, tonight we are also going to be joined by someone who works closely with justice and legal issues in our community. He also has a podcast called Hill of Justice, and he's also been on this show, I believe, either once or twice before. Let's welcome tonight Jerome Hill from Hill of Justice. Hey,
Mr.
Jerome.
Jerome, how you doing?
Jerome, can you hear us? Hello. I don't know if he can hear us. I'm
You
gonna
hear
have to.
us, Jerome?
I'm gonna have to give Jerome a call here. I think he has us on mute. Let's see. I'm calling him, guys.
Call him.
Th-
Call him. Mr.
This is
Jerome, can you hear us?
This is live. Jerome, can you hear us?
I can hear y'all 100%.
Well, we can't. Well, we can't hear you.
We can't hear you. Okay, and you see what's going on.
Yeah, I would go in and come back out.
Yeah, I would go in and come back out. Okay.
All right. All right. He's okay.
Well,
So
we're gonna wait on him. We wait on Mr. Jerome. We're gonna wait on him.
so guys, before while Jerome hops back on, he's going to go out and come back in. Tonight we're going to be talking about we're moving into the hot topics of the show. Okay? And this is where we take a look at the trending topics in our culture and what people are talking about online on social media. And of course, some of the stories are funny and some are controversial. But at the end of the day, you're watching The Truth Ain't in Us, and we're going to keep it real. We're going to keep it truthful 100%. And hopefully, Jerome will be on here in just a second. But while we wait for him, we're going to keep it moving. Okay. So, the first topic, this topic has been hitting the internet hard this week. And that first topic, Lord have mercy. Our first hot topic involves Chili from TLC. She's been receiving some backlash online for reposting content that appear to support Donald Trump. I believe she has donated to his campaign. And then she also is being criticized for reposting some negative things about Michelle Obama. And I'll get into that shortly. Let's go ahead and watch this clip of Chili apologizing, and then we'll get into it.
Hey guys, I wanted to come on here to address a few things that's circulating on the internet that's very concerning to me. Let me say this first. I have the utmost respect and admiration for Michelle Obama, and I would never say or do anything that is disrespectful to her or to any woman. I would never do that. And I had no clue that this repost had happened until I started getting phone calls and text messages from everybody, and I immediately went to my page to see what was going on. Now, mind you, I'm not very computer savvy, so I'm looking for this repost button, and I see that all of these buttons are very, very close to each other. And clearly I was scrolling and my thumb hit the repost button. Again, I had no clue that something like this happened until I got all the calls. But of course, I took that down, and, I would never post anything like that. I would never do something like that. That is not my character. I have supported the Obamas. I gave to the campaign, both runs, voted twice for him, and supported the organization that Michelle had in the schools for exercise for the kids. I would never do anything that's harmful or hateful to anybody. I'm just not wired like that. That's just not who I am. And when it comes to organizations that I have donated to, these are the things that support the veterans. I have always supported them, not just now, but for years. This is not something new. So I just wanted to let you guys know, this from me, that I would never do anything so disrespectful, and I would just never, I'm just not about hate or anything like that. If you look on my page and see my posts, it's all about love, faith, and connection. That's what I'm all about. and I've always been that way, and I will continue to be just that way. So I just want to thank you guys for, your love and your support, and just taking the time to listen to me right now. I really, really appreciate that. And I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Okay. 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 Dondi, where are you? Okay. So Jerome had to restart his. Oh, there he is. Hey, Jerome.
Hey, I apologize, everyone. I had to restart my computer. Of course, my computer was super excited to talk to you both, and that's why it shut down in the extreme, screaming, exhilarated moment that it had. It wasn't ready. I was though.
Okay, no problem. But we're gonna keep it
Welcome, Mr.
moving.
Jerome.
Yes, and the show must go on.
Yeah.
So here is, Chili is saying, thank you guys. She's thanking us
Mhm.
for listening, hearing her, or whatever. But we don't believe her. Lie number one. Okay. And Chili, you're gonna get a little upset here. This may upset you and your fans and your followers, your consecutive branch that you follow, but here's the real deal. You reposted something about Michelle Obama that's negative. I believe the post was about her being registering as a man to vote, and you want us to believe that you hit this button to repost and it's an accident, and you want us to believe that you donated to Donald Trump's campaign because of veterans. I don't know what the hell that has to do with veterans. Don't giving money to Donald Trump's campaign. But at the end of the day, we're not buying the lie. Okay? We're not falling for it. We know it's all about the ticket sales for this concert that you guys are putting on with Salt and Pepper, and I believe what's the other group, In Vogue. And even though we love those groups, the people are saying, we're not standing by you. We're not buying tickets. We're not supporting you because of all the negative things that this administration has done to hurt and harm brown people. Okay. We're not falling for the okey doke. And not only that, her partner, well, not even partner, because her band member, from TLC is what's the other young lady's name?
T-Boz.
T-Boz. There's now a post that's going around. T-Boz did an interview a couple of years ago and stated in the interview that Chile actually voted for Trump. So there is no mistake. There's no, oh, I'm so sorry. And we are drawing the line in the sand at this point. You're either with us or you're against us. At the end of the day, you're either with us or you're against us. And that goes, I think it should go for anybody that's brown or whatever color they are that's supporting this administration. At the end of the day, we got Nick Cannon, who's talking shit, and he don't even know what the hell he's talking about. Okay, and we'll get into that too. But I want to know what you guys take is on all of this. I'm gonna start with you, Dondi. I see you got your hand over your head. Let's
Listen, I don't
go
give a,
ahead. We're gonna let her have it tonight.
no, I don't. I can't let her have it. What's the question? What are you asking me?
What is your take about? Do you believe Chili?
Yeah, I do think she reposted it.
Oh, she's saying it was an accident.
I do think it was an accident.
I don't think so.
I think she was just having a little fun, probably a little bit too many cups of wine, probably actually liked it, hit the wrong button, but I think that's probably how she feels. You know what I mean? I don't judge anybody off of politics. She can vote for
No,
whoever she wants to. But what I can say, okay, go
this
ahead.
is hold on, because this is the truth ain't in us, right? This show is called The Truth Ain't in Us. And earlier today, you were having a different take on this. So I'm gonna need you. I'm gonna need
Mm.
you to be truthful. I'm gonna need you to bring the real.
Listen.
Let me
Okay.
drop my cuffs right now.
Yeah, there you go. Go get it, Jerome, because we about
I
to
need to
lock his ass up.
see. I need to remain silent. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I need
Yeah.
to vote. I need to remain
You
silent.
acting like Chili now.
Nah,
Mhm.
nah. But what I think though, and I'm just gonna be honest with you, it's just the truth, and I'll be real quick about it. And I'm big on the Obamas. You know, I feel like the President Obama is a superhuman. I feel like everybody should strive to be him. Let me tell you the reason why. He became the President of the United States. The black. That's not even just. Let's not even talk about his color. Let's just say the President of the United States. You know, and that's the ultimate thing. So I think that every young black man should try to look up to him, not LeBron, not. And I'm not saying don't look up to LeBron, don't look up to Tiger Woods, don't look up to these guys, but
Definitely
in
not
our
looking up to
community,
Tiger Woods, but go
yeah,
ahead.
but in our community, we're looking up to the wrong type of people. We're looking up to entertainers. We're looking up to rappers. We're looking up to musicians. We're looking up to Chili. We're looking up to these type of people. And I'm just saying somebody's looking up, you know. And I know Chili, and I'm not saying I don't know Chili. I just know Chili from Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls and TLC. I don't know her for politics. I know her for being the pretty young lady that she is. I know her for dropping the ball with Usher. You see what I'm saying? That's what I know her for. You know what I mean? Because she had Usher, right? And Usher's you know. And my thing is, so that's what I know her for. But I look at Michelle as my thing is Michelle's the ultimate woman, you know. And I don't even pay no attention when I see Michelle Obama as a man on it. Man, get out of there. I stripe. I throw my phone down. I don't want to see that because that's a beautiful woman the way she holds Barack down. I don't think we would think Barack is the best that he is and who he is and how cool he is and how smart he is if he didn't have Michelle. I think Michelle gives him that pizzazz, makes him not have no cracks in his armor. I think if he didn't have Michelle, we'd have been found a couple cracks in Barack's armor, as I think she's, just little things like she might tell him, hey man, put that cigarette down around all these people. Just little things like that. I think that, but Michelle's the ultimate woman. She's beautiful. She's elegant. I would never speak out against her. I love the way she holds Barack down, and I think a lot of our women need to hold our men down just like that. Even if the president of the United States or
Okay.
the janitor of the school.
Okay. And Jerome, what's your thoughts on this?
Our culture is broken. And
Absolutely.
naturally, what we're seeing is, what Dondi was talking about, we shouldn't be looking up to our entertainers, our sports athletes. And who the hell are we going to listen to? Because it can't be the politicians. The politicians have failed us 1000%.
It starts at home.
Every part of our culture has been perverted and is a disgrace at this point in time. So, what do you think with the advent of social media, people are going to run to? They're going to run to these
Hmm.
celebrities. They're going to run to these entertainers. And because everybody is on TikTok, swiping left and right, and on Facebook and so on and so forth, these become echo chambers. And this is one of the situations where you have, you know, a woman who doesn't want to go ahead and really have her affiliation out there and has to backtrack now because she's getting backlash. There wasn't an intentionality there. There was, you're not going to tell me somebody as refined and as smart as she made a mistake. There's no way you're going to tell me that. What's disgusting about it is stand on the hill that you want to die on.
Hmm.
Always.
Mm.
Never, 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 never retreat unless you don't belong on that hill or what you're saying about that hill, you don't really believe in. Get out.
I love that. Love that.
And this is the problem that we see each and every time with our politicians, particularly, they're first and foremost, but then with other people who want to go ahead and see that their pockets are now being sabotaged by the things that they're saying. And now they
Hmm.
want to go ahead and backtrack. You own it, stand up to it. There's nothing that you can do at this point in time except apologize and say, I believe in this and this and this. You may not believe in every issue that man has to say, but you believe in something that made you want to go ahead, vote for him, and to go ahead and believe that his policies are something that you aspire to have and want others to take a look at. Now that you are getting some backlash, you want to go ahead and have a different front. Well, guess what? You own it, take it. Most of you are cowards, just like
Hmm.
he is, but you're a coward for not going ahead and standing behind your guy.
And I agree with that 100%. I believe if you
Hmm.
voted for him, own it.
Stand on it. Stand on your
Yes.
heel.
And if you,
Or get
yeah.
off.
But here's the bigger question. Do you believe that the sand should be drawn in the line, the line should be drawn in the sand when it comes to you either with us or you're against us? And we're seeing more and more people because we are powerful, okay, when it comes to our spending, our money, our spending, our dollars, and supporting these celebrities. And we saw the power behind Target when we stopped shopping at Target. They lost billions of dollars. And so when it comes to these celebrities, we can make or break them. We hold that power. Okay. And a lot of times, and a
I
lot of
don't like that though.
celebrities,
I don't
yeah,
like that.
well, a lot of celebrities won't, they're probably not going to like what I have to say right now. But when they first start out and they need us, okay, they're nice. They'll take pictures. They'll extend themselves. But once they've made it to a certain level, they become untouchable. And I get, like, we have some crazy people out there, like what's going on with Rihanna and stuff like that. And I get all of that. Okay. And they need protection because we have crazy people out here in this world. So I get that. But when it comes to being with Donald Trump, being mega, I mean, are we going to say to our people, we're now you're canceled?
No.
Jerome?
No.
Absolutely, yes. You have to.
and
And the
and I'm
reason
with you.
being, the reason being
You have to
is if
cancel
you're a
her?
one party, yeah, you cancel her.
What?
You could go ahead at this point in time, understand what a lot of people would like to go ahead and talk to you about this is to say, hey, guess what? I just believe in one thing. I'm a one party issue person. But the problem is that if we're going to be global neighbors and
Hmm.
also be neighbors to our fellow citizens, you have to think of the totality. You can't just think and be selfish about yourself. If you want America to be great again, okay,
Mm,
if you really believe in that, then you have to go ahead and think of the whole, not be selfish about yourself. And they want to go ahead and talk about this being the home of the brave. Okay. This is the weakest I've ever seen this nation ever be.
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Nobody's being brave. Even the take that I'm bringing right now, people are going to cry, get upset about it, be like, oh, he's so un-American. No, you could be critical of this nation and still understand that it is not working for everyone. It's supposed to work for the majority, not for the very few or selective that have money and power. And this is a person who has a megaphone, who's speaking full throated and saying, this is my guy. And yet this person is hurting individuals left and right.
Exactly.
Stand on that hill, shut up, it's yours, own it. That's the
So,
end of it.
but I
And
get everything. Everything you said is so true. But let me ask you a question. What does cancel mean? You know what I mean? Because I didn't know what
means
cancel
we're
meant.
not going to support her
No, we
and her
don't support
cause.
that.
She's having a
So nobody
concert. We're
shows up.
not.
What about
We're not.
T-Boz? What about T-Boz? She don't
Well,
feel that way.
casualty of war. You've heard of that, right?
No,
There's
So
casualty
why
of
celebrate her?
war.
That's my
I'm not
question.
saying
Why
celebrate her.
celebrate her?
Celebrate her for her music. Celebrate her for what she's had, I guess, done in the
Dondi,
past.
Dondi, that music that she made that was hot is back then. You don't have to support
But
that
Exactly.
no
people are
more.
gonna
It's
want to
over.
come and listen to it, though. I don't think people are gonna listen
They
to
have a
it.
radio.
You're only as good
They
as your
gonna
You have a
they
last
radio.
gonna want to
song.
say they gonna
You're
want to say,
only as good as your
"Don't
last
go
song, whatever it is
chasing
you do.
waterfall."
Yeah, go ahead. Do that. Rock that in your car. I'm
And
not going
another,
to go
Rock
pay
that
it.
in your car.
and we
He
come
said,
from
"Rock
the
that in your
sales
car."
world. We come from the
Yeah,
sales world, Dondi. So
most
you're
definitely.
only as good as your last month, right?
No, for me, the last day.
Well, for me, it's when we're talking about our monthly closeout or whatever.
Oh
And
yeah.
I get what you're saying about your last day, but I'm just saying, same thing when it comes to the music industry. You're only as good as your last hit. And at the end of the day, Chili wants to play in our freaking face and lie because the ticket sales have dropped and people are saying they're not supporting her.
No.
They're
But you
not
don't go at Michelle Obama though. That's what you don't do. That's
our black queen.
That's what you don't do. That's off. That's off. She's off. Like
that's
she's
our
off.
black
You don't go at her.
queen.
You don't go
And
at her.
at the end of the day,
You
you're
don't
gonna
go
sit
at
up here and say, "Oh, I don't know that I hit the button here. You know, I don't know what's going. Come on."
So you own, like he said, stand on that heel, man. Get off.
Exactly. Now
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I just want to know what counsel meant.
Yeah, we're running behind, so we're gonna keep it going. We're gonna move on to the next hot topic real quick. And you guys, like, I love Drewski. I love Drewski. Okay, that is my man right there. Okay, and I love his comedy. And this past week, he went viral again for doing the skit of Erica Kirk, and the internet just can't stop talking. So let's watch this clip, and we're not going to watch the whole thing, Collins, because of time. So let's just watch a few minutes, 1 minute of this clip, and then we're going to jump back on. Let's go.
War is raging in Iran.
We're praying for all the soldiers and troops.
That's great that you're praying, but
how about all the kids that died when the USA hit the towers?
It broke my heart. That is the
In what ways have you grown closer to Jesus?
I serve a righteous God. And that is why we say our prayers. We are all his children. But when I say children, I mean like the holy, blessed Trinity, which is why I hold the Bible. Sweet cream foam chai ice matcha. And Bella will have all organic.
Oh my God. I don't know what happened to Dondi. I guess he will be coming back in, but we're going to keep it going. You know, some people think that this is hilarious, and some people think that it hits too close to home, and I think that's the conservative people out there. And Erica Kirk is having a hissy fit over this skit and threatening to sue Drewski. And people are saying he has the right to do this. It's comedy. And I think Elon Musk, even she wanted him to take it down. He was like, no, I'm not taking it down, which surprised me. Okay. But at the end of the day, what was, I'm going to start with you first, Jerome. What's your take on this Drewski skit and Erica Kirk saying she wants to sue him?
Let me go ahead and explain that. And shortly, we're going to talk about the Afroman case.
Yes.
And this parallels the Afroman case in terms of what the Supreme Court decision was. Parody happens to be one of the most protected forms of speech that is out there. That's why these comedians can say almost at carte blanche anything that they want. She's barking up the wrong tree. If she thinks that she's going to she can sue them all she wants to, but it's going to take an L, just like the 7 deputies in Ohio did, for the same reason that Afroman was able to get off. You cannot go ahead a parody of someone. I don't care how close it is to mimicking the actual person. It was over the top, and that's what it is. If you're a public figure like I am and a few others are, you have to go ahead and understand that there's going to be a subset of people who are not going to go ahead and agree with you. There's going to be other people that love you. But for the ones that want to go ahead and make fun with you, and I had tons of people do that, what are you so upset about? Is it because it hits home and it maybe this facade that you're putting out is stinging a little bit because it's closely matching that? Even if it was, her best move, just like in the case with Afroman, like those 7 deputies, you got more attention to yourself to be clowned. And
I-
this is what happened to her.
I think she gets to see how she acts in public, and she sees that reflection of herself, and she can't handle it. Like,
She
oh my
knows it.
God, is this how I'm behaving? Is this how I'm coming across? And now she's embarrassed by all of this. And
Yeah,
Dondi, you got your hand up here like this, like, what's going on? What's going on?
Because Juicy is a nut. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. And like he said, he went over the top. In this society with the internet age, with the TikTok and everything, you kind of go over the top to get what they're trying to get. Whatever success that they're trying to get, Juicy's trying to get, you got to kind of go over the top. Now, do I think he's trying to be like the young lady? No, I think he's trying to be like all of them. I think that I didn't just see her.
About her.
I seen about 3-4 other people that he looked like, and it just goes back to Marlon Wayans and Shawn Wayans with white chicks, At the same time, do I feel I got to look at it I got to step out of myself too and look at it from the other side as well. The way they look at it. They're looking at it as, hey, we can't do blackface, right? So how can you do whiteface? So that's why I think it's causing a lot of controversy more than Erica Kirk. I think it's more of that they want to do blackface.
No.
No.
Here's the problem when people say that, and it's just the reverse portion that they want you to believe in. So
exactly,
you can't go ahead and have a group of people who are elitist, okay, and then go ahead and feel as though that they are the ones being victimized when it comes to these type of things.
Whoa, people do that all the time, though, right?
They do that all the time, correct? But you have no leg to stand on if you enjoy certain liberties here in the United States that other people can't even pretend to enjoy. And thus what it creates is this factory in this film of individuals saying, hey, guess what was me because I can't do what you did. Well, yeah, you can say the N-word. Go ahead and say it in front of my face. Go ahead and say it in front of somebody else's face. There's consequences to that. Yeah. And what they want to go ahead and make it seem like, hey, guess what? The consequences can't be for us if we want to go ahead and do blackface. Well, it is when you have demarginalized a set of people for hundreds of years.
Exactly.
Hundreds.
And you can't go ahead and reverse, what we call reverse engineer this victimization. You can't do that. But that's what they want to go ahead and get even more power to them in regards to say, hey, guess what? We can do the same thing that you do. You can't because you hold this platform up here.
And did make a statement in one of her little speeches about all the white good men. Something along that line.
But at the same time,
and
Tonya, it is good white men. There is.
No. That's not what she was saying. Okay, she was saying that there are only good white men in America, excluding everybody else. She was speaking to them only. You need to go back and watch the speech.
I did. I watched
and Drewski was for sure talking about her throughout the whole entire skit without calling her name or whatever the case may be. He was referring to Erica Kirk. Period.
I agree for her, you know what I mean? First,
why?
Her husband died. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day,
and they both were, and he was a racist. So I shed no tears for racist people.
Well, I just, I don't want nobody to die, nobody to be assassinated.
Okay.
No color.
I will say this, that if you have an individual like she, who is espousing what could be white nationalistic views
and capitalizing,
and whether she's capitalizing or not, she has a bullhorn and she's saying all these things. You can go ahead and say those things, not a problem, but that doesn't absolve you from the consequences of people ridiculing you. And thus, for her to go ahead and be woe is me, I don't feel that. And if
she should have laughed at it.
She should have what?
She should have laughed at it.
No, but when you
or ignored it, that's
or ignored
the best
it.
part of it.
Yeah.
And thus, she brought more attention to herself. That's without saying, but it speaks more to how entitled people are, sick of it. I will say
And
this:
playing the victim too,
playing the victim. Guess
of
what?
course.
I don't know if you were out and about on Saturday, but there were millions of people out. The
Yes.
No Kings. And guess where a lot of them were? Majority were
White people.
white. Okay. They're sick of it. They're sick of all this nonsense too. So it's just not, a lot of people want to go ahead and say, hey, guess what? It's a black and white thing, or it's,
It isn't.
multicultural. It all it is right now is an ugly subset of people who are trying to go ahead and dominate and have things back to what it once was, where they felt like they had the most control. Right now, they don't feel that way, or they feel as though that they need more control because they have lost it or slipped it, or they're worried about their kids.
And I think, Jerome, sorry to interrupt you, but I feel like too, they feel as though that they're becoming the minority, and they don't want to see that
They are,
happen.
though. They are.
They would be, because right now white births are at the lowest it's ever been. You couple that with why they changed Roe v. Wade, and that was to go because more white people had abortions, and they're trying to go ahead and make sure that that does not collapse. And so they're worried about in 2050, 2060, that brown people will be the majority in the United States. I just want your audience to hear that again. In 2060, you have brown people that will be the majority in the United States. That's no easy feat, and it's been years and decades in the making. That's why you see the immigration issue being such a hot topic.
Well, that
on top of
exactly.
it, and it is what they fear most, because when you go ahead and subjugate a group of people like that and they break free, guess what you're worried about? Your house burning down, you getting hung. Now the rabbit, where's the gun now? That's what that's about.
Well, guys, great discussion thus far. We want you guys to put in the comments, should this line be drawn in the sand? What do you guys think? Should people be canceled for supporting Donald Trump and this administration? Do you need to take a break, Dondi? You good?
No, I'm good.
You need to have you some water in front of you or something.
I apologize,
juice.
man.
I
I
got
know
some
my
juice.
stuff is a little strong.
I got the juice right here.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna move on into the show topic for tonight. I'm sorry, what happened? Oh, somebody is texting me in the middle of the show and saying they should absolutely be canceled. Okay. Absolutely. But let's get the show going. We're going to talk about the Afroman case. Okay? And is justice blind or selective? We're going to play a little bit of Afroman's video before we jump in. We're only going to do one of the videos. I had two, but we're going to do one, and we're probably just going to play 1 minute of that so we can go ahead and move into the topics. So the show is going to probably run over a little.
What they did, searching your house, gave you the right to do everything you
Under
did.
the circumstance that I got freedom of speech, after they run around my house with guns and kick down my door, I got the right to kick a can in my backyard, use my freedom of speech, turn my bad times into a good time. Yes, I do. And I think I'm a sport for doing so, because I don't go to their house, kick down their doors, flip them off on their surveillance cameras, then try to play the victim and sue them.
You were at Lisa Phillips's deposition, correct?
Yes, sir.
In your lawyer's office.
Yes, sir.
Same office where you filmed part of that video last Friday.
Yes, sir.
You saw how upset she was when she was answering your lawyer's questions about how this had affected her, right?
Yes.
And you saw your attorney say, do we need to take a break?
Yes.
And you saw her say, no, let's go on and get this over with.
Yes, sir.
You saw all that.
Yes.
You knew she was upset.
Just like she knew I was upset when she was standing in front of my kids with an AR-15 with her hand around the trigger ready to shoot me. Just like she knew I was upset when she cut my cameras. But I'm not a person, she is. So I'm sorry for being the victim. Let's talk about the predators.
Okay. So you saw all that. You saw how upset she was. You heard the testimony about her children. You heard the testimony at the depositions about Randy Newland's daughter who came home upset. You heard all that. But you're still posting stuff about
Yeah,
it.
because I understand it was Randy's fault and all of their fault for coming in my house in the first place. So if they hadn't came to my house, their children wouldn't be saying nothing. None of this would be going home if they did their research and did things right. So all of this is their fault. And now they want to sue me for their mistake.
All right. Let's end that there.
Afroman. Afroman.
Exactly.
Afroman.
Oh my God. So I got so much to say about this. So for those of you who haven't seen the video, his house was raided because they believed that he had drugs and had kidnapped kids or was trafficking kids or something along that line. They found no drugs. They found no kids kidnapped. And so he had cameras all around his house, and he made a music video, a rap video, and using the clips from his camera, and talked about the police officers in the who did the raid. And then they turned around, the audacity, to sue him for defamation. And he wound up winning the case. So, Jerome, I know a lot of people are going to be mad about what I'm about to say, especially these white conservative judges. They're not going to like what I'm about to say. But what I want to know from you when it comes to the Afroman case, the judge in this case, he was hostile, he was impartial, and he was upset about the verdict and kept inserting himself. And I also saw a video today where one of the jurors was anonymous and said how the judge questioned them after the case, wanting to know why they ruled the way they did. So I want to know, is justice really blind or selective, or it's just not fair? Because in my eyes, and from what I've seen just from this judge, I don't believe that we have a fair shake when we go into the courtroom.
Well, it can be both. They're not mutually exclusive, or they can be mutually exclusive. Here's with the case in itself. The judge, I don't know if you know about this. We did this episode on our show a couple weeks ago.
And can I interrupt you just for a second? Because we didn't have an opportunity because you was out. Just tell the people real briefly what it is that you did and why you're here on the show to answer these questions. So real briefly.
So me and my brother host the Hill of Justice podcast, and we go into deep dive analysis of the most viral cases here in the United States. And this was one of the cases that we took a look at in Ohio.
Okay.
And so as we were taking a look at this, the judge, which is a very rare thing to do, although he won the case, he split the cost of bringing the case to court between the 7 deputies and the 1 defendant. So when you say is justice fair, is justice selective, then what you're, in this case, which I do believe that, he has an absolute, and what I'm talking about is Joseph Foreman, that's his name. He absolutely has a case to go ahead and have that even looked at in appeals, because that is ridiculous on that end of it. Rare as a time. And I've been in the court system for a long time. Rare as a time that ever happens.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And I think for me, I think him wearing his outfit was brilliant. His lawyer was brilliant. Um, he was well prepared when he came to court.
But this wasn't
And
a hard case.
well, well, it could have went another way if the jury,
The whole
if they were biased people.
Sure, I mean, and you have that, but this, it,
And
as I said earlier in the show,
mhm.
this happens to be one of the most protected forms of speeches. They would have to go up against the entire Constitution to say that this isn't something that he can't say or do. Did he create the conditions? No, he did not. Did he go ahead and use his own footage that he
Mhm.
paid with service and everything like that to go ahead and make lemon pound cake? Or are you going to go ahead and fix my door? And make a parody of these individuals who made one of the most colossal mistakes that they could have done in their careers, and then amplify it by trying to go ahead and want emotional distress, loss of reputation. They were worried about security threats. You did that to yourself. That's like me being a police officer. I hit a house. I didn't do none of my research. I believed that these things were happening. Nobody sat on the house. And I just went in there willy-nilly and I destroyed everybody's home. And the city won't pay for it, or the county won't pay for it. And you don't think that there's going to be some retribution coming back to me? I'd be stupid. All 70s. First of all, the issue is the city manager, the county manager, they were a disaster.
Mhm.
The chief was a disaster because somebody should have stopped them to say, don't do this. You're going
Yeah.
to bring more harm to us than we care to have. This is what happens in small towns like this when they're not very big towns that I worked in, whether it be Baltimore, whether it be Pittsburgh, whether it be Miami. We're not bringing up these rinky-dink stuff. Nobody's doing that because big-time attorneys in those areas would be like, hold up, we can't do this. We're not using losing our reputation. So this is what happens in rinky-dink towns like this and small-town deputies, truth be told.
So, do you think that we're going to see more of this from other people? Because, like, what happens when someone raids your house, finds nothing, and you're just left with whatever destruction that they've caused to your home?
And you make a rap video and you go ahead and use your own footage and stuff like that, yeah, you could go ahead and sue and you're going to be found not guilty, just like this. And this is what's going to happen. Is this a sign of more things to come? No, because people are going to go ahead. Attorneys look at this too. Now they went national and they're going to be like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm not taking this. Or you have to get somebody small that's just coming out of law school that doesn't have a pot to piss in. Go ahead and take that type of case. Nobody with a reputable firm would even think to do something like this.
But what about the people whose homes are being raided?
They have a recourse. They can
Yes.
go ahead and ask for the city to go ahead and reimburse them. And then that will be what they can go ahead and do, or they can go to the courts.
So what about the recourse? What about if they're raiding your house with AK-47s?
Excuse me? I'm sorry?
If they're raiding your house with AK-47s or whatever they have, AR-15s
You can't stop
and
that.
guns and stuff, and they shoot you, what's the recourse from that point?
You're dead. Because if you get shot with an AK-47, most likely you're dead.
But that's not
There's
okay.
nothing you could do.
And that's
Now,
what
your
happened.
family-
That's what happened.
Well,
happened
I think one of the cases that we need to talk about when it comes to that is Breonna Taylor. When they put up a false search warrant, went to go ahead and serve it, and actually killed her, actually because of her boyfriend.
But they did the same thing with Afroman. They put a fake search warrant up.
Sure.
To get him. Because I don't know. Can I speak now? Because I'm ready to go.
Yeah, because how can we trust the police at this point?
It's not even about trust the police. It's about, so let me tell you about
system.
Afroman. Y'all got to understand who Afroman is. Afroman is a hit artist that made the song, he made the song, I was going to clean my room until I got high. That's a major hit song.
I don't remember it, but go ahead.
Well, do your research. Like he said, everybody has to do their research. Do your research. So they're wondering why this guy He got 15 cars in his lot, got a high fence, is living good, don't work, because he's before the internet. You have to remember this. Afroman's before the internet when that song came out. A lot of us were still in college and high school when that song came out. Yeah. So he's been living off of that. And he's been living good, eating good. Look at him, and they wanted to know, the police been riding by. They want to know who's this guy that ain't working every day, that's smoking weed every day. They want to know who he is, this old man or whoever he is. He's somebody. They didn't do the research. So they thought he was selling drugs because he was smoking weed all the time. His song is, I was going to clean my room because I got high. So he was basically doing that. And he's selling out to the sunset. So wherever he's at, he's in a small town where they broke in his house. They broke down. They put AR-15s in his face in front of his kids, broke down his window, broke down his gate, And what he did, he bombed on them. And he has every right to go at him personally because they didn't fix his gate. They did bust in. What if they did kill him? What if they did shoot Afroman because they were scared of him, because they want to know how this guy that's not working is just chilling, got 10 cars in his yard, living good, and dating a white woman? We want to know.
Well, I thought he was clever with his clap back at the end of the day.
Clever. He was very clever.
But the important, I think
Lisa. But go ahead.
The most important, I think what's most important here is the justice system at the end of the day. Why is it that they're allowed to bring false accusations against citizens and then not be held accountable?
Well, I can tell you what happened. So the police went about going ahead and writing up a complaint. They went up and gave it to the judge. Okay, maybe a statement of cause saying, "Hey, guess what? This guy has A, B, C, and D." The judge, not knowing, and I'm not saying it's that same judge. The judge, not knowing, reads this, doesn't know it's false. It's going on the predicate of what these deputies have claimed is going on in that home. So he signed off on it. Okay. So that's not on that judge. That judge is only going by information it knows. Okay. At that point in time, they go in there and they do what they have to do. I will tell you this. The criminal justice system did hold. It did. They did not go ahead and award $4 million to these 7 deputies. So as we are pissed off that it even came to fruition in the first place, we have to take a sigh and a deep breath and say, hey, guess what? It did hold.
Yeah, but again, you didn't have a racist jury. Mm-hmm. Number 2, you talked about the Breonna Taylor case. Mm-hmm. And obviously something you just said that struck me, they were really, what were they after her boyfriend?
Correct.
Okay, so again, something was written up falsely. So obviously this goes on a lot, mm-hmm. where
all the time
officers are able to do that. And what I'm saying is, when are they going to start being held accountable for making up false reports at the end of the day?
Well, I will tell you this. This is the perverse thought that you need to have on this. When it comes to the Afroman case, okay, when do they pay for this? They're paying right now. They just got embarrassed in court. Not only did they get embarrassed on the national stage, okay, he was able to make that money that he lost, and then some.
And they stole his money. They stole his money too. Them officers stole his money.
I agree.
That's why they should be fired. The whole staff should be fired.
Somebody should be fired.
They still there. That's
like I agree that somebody should be fired. If I was chief or sheriff, somebody would have to be accounted for.
Everybody's getting fired.
At the same time, all you did was you took a guy who made a hit in the 1980s and made him relevant in the 20s.
Exactly.
This is the gift that keeps on giving, folks. Have no illusions. You know, Afroman not only won this case, but he won the game of life by doing this. And he has probably so many more people. If I was him, I'd be like, thank you, motherfuckers. Thanks.
Oh yeah. At the end of the day,
But
and now
nobody wants an AR-15 in your face.
No, don't get me wrong.
I get it. You
agree.
know, I'm saying people might be mute to it, and people might think that it's part of life. But having an AR-15 in your face is not a part of
having
life.
any gun in my
You
face,
see what I'm saying?
would
Especially my
be
kids
crazy.
right there. Hey, I want everybody to suffer. I want everybody.
did that.
They deserve everything they got and more. If people are sending them letters, them the people you cancel. Don't cancel Chili. Cancel them police.
Oh, Chili ass is canceled.
No,
so
cancel them.
no,
Them,
Chili is canceled, baby.
The same way. Now, I just want to
Chili
say,
is canceled.
I think a police officer is to protect and serve. I don't think a police officer is to bully and be Hercules in the street, or go give tickets because of your wife was mad at you the day or something happened that day, and now you want to take it out on the community. I don't agree. I don't agree with that. You know, I think
that happens in every business.
Okay, now I'm about to say something. I think the police need to be like the fire department and the ambulance. Now, I do think the Hill Justice is going to be against this, but this is what I feel. I feel that they need to be the fire department and the ambulance. They need to sit back, wait, and for somebody to be called. You don't see a fire department walking around looking for a fire. You don't see an ambulance going around, driving around looking for sickness. But you see the police in our neighborhoods. You see the police in our neighborhoods trailing our neighborhoods, riding around with their lights on, you know, looking for trouble.
We don't live in a perfect world either.
I understand it, but they ain't riding in Sandy Springs like that. They're not riding in Conyers like that, but they're riding in Riverdale like that. They're riding in the city of Atlanta like that. No, the police need to sit back and wait for that domestic violence call, wait for that old lady to call and say he's back selling drugs again, baby, in front of my house. And then that's when they jump down a little thing like the fire department jump down, and then they run with the bell, and then they go.
So what happens what happens if you have a crew of 7 people that are on the corner? They're making $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 a week off of heroin, and they got better weapons than you do, and they got better attorneys than you do.
And they're destroying our communities, by the way.
Right? Who you gonna call? You see,
but she called. She said, "Baby, they outside in front of my house."
And the many of them don't do that because they're worried that snitches will get stitches.
But stay at the police department, lift your weights, play your video game, and then get the little thing to the fire department guys and y'all slide down when y'all hear the bell, and then y'all go.
But you can't go ahead and arbitrarily say it. You can't swing it to the other side either. No. There's a medium there.
Okay.
And Dondi, you know, in corporate America, there's the good old boys club. It's the same everywhere. You have the good old boys club.
I know right and
everywhere.
Wrong. I know right and wrong.
Well, everybody,
I know morally correct and not, and I'm willing to die for it if I'm not.
But that's you.
I'm willing to die for. But that's what everybody needs to be.
But
You need to be.
We would be living in a perfect world. We would be living in a perfect world, and we would not be sitting here having this discussion or this debate right now. If that's the type of world, if everybody had the same morals, had the same standards, had the same beliefs, then we would not be sitting here right now.
But cancel the police. Cancel not the police.
We can't cancel the police because we do need the police at the end of the day.
Mr. Hill, let me just tell you what
we need them at the end of the day.
And I believe we need the police. I thank you. I don't mean to cut you off, but this is what I want to tell Mr. Hill, and this is what I need to say, please, bro. I want to appreciate you for your service, you know, and what you do for the community, because you look like me. You know, and you're in our communities, and that's the way it needs to look like. Hold on. We need to police our own neighborhoods. We can't have a 22-year-old white boy that lived in Conyers and lived in Cummings coming down to Simpson Road. And now everybody looks like that drug dealer is making $50,000, $60,000.
But what if they have a good heart?
We know everybody's not making $50,000, $60,000.
What if they have
and they're terrorizing them kids, man? And that's what I'm talking about. That's why we need to police our own neighborhoods. Now, guess what?
I don't agree with that.
Hold up, listen. Now, Mr. Jerome Hill can talk to that 15-year-old boy that looks like his son and say, "Bro, listen, bro. You don't need to be doing this, bro. You're gonna die.
So
bro,
you
go to
don't
jail.
think we have bad apples? You don't think we have black officers that are bad apples?
I do think we have black,
okay.
because they're tired. That's because
Oh my God,
because they're not.
You ain't making no sense.
That's because they're tired.
Making no sense right there.
I don't think. But listen, I think they need to police. We need to police our own neighborhoods. And what I mean, let's get good black officers to police our, basically like Victor Hill was doing. You see what I'm saying in Riverdale. Now that he's not there, he's showing that basically everything is done. Justice Hill, everything is wrong with the community. But when he was there, I used to see him all the time. I would see him at the little everywhere. You know what I mean? He was in the community. I got locked up one time, and it's, you know what I mean? But I got locked up one time, and I seen him in the jail walking through, and everybody turned and looked at the wall, and get some respect. I'm talking about the same guy that just killed somebody the other day. I'm being honest. The same guy that just killed somebody, killed 3 people. When Victor Hill came, oh shit, here you go. That's the type of man that we need in our communities. You feel me? Somebody who morally right, somebody that got good character, and somebody that you don't fuck with. And when I don't mean to say my language like that, but that's what we doing to our black men. We fucking with them for being too good, for being too on point, for being too respected in the communities, for being too.
So let me say this to you. I went into a neighborhood to go see a client. And because I was sitting in the road, an Afro-American guy, a black male, got upset because I was waiting there, minding my business, and chased me with a gun.
A police officer? No, just
I didn't say
okay.
a black person, but all I'm saying to you is it doesn't matter when it comes to the skin color, if they have morals, if they have a good heart, if they're a good person.
You're right.
Because there are some good white cops out there.
But they don't understand our mothers, though. They don't understand our fathers. They don't understand our grandmothers. They don't understand our community. They don't understand, yes, our brothers sold drugs here 2 years ago, but I don't do it no more. But they look at us like,
but they got more drugs in the white community than they do. It's
so
everywhere.
Go police them and turn your lights on in their neighborhoods in Sandy Springs, in their neighborhoods in Cumming. Keep your lights on all night. And have a police light riding around all night and stopping everybody that moves. That's just.
Well, that's not happening in my neighborhood. Thank God.
The crime is different in both of those areas. I will tell you that.
Because we don't police the area the same way.
You know, well, they don't, and there's some reasons for that. But I will, that's probably for another show. But just to leave you with some context, 90%, according to the FBI statistics, 90% of the homicide rates are when it comes down to African Americans are being committed by other African Americans. Now you might say to yourself, "What? That's disgusting." It is, but let me hold up that 83% of white Americans kill other white Americans. It boils down to wherever you are in your area, you are a product of your environment. You're going to victimize the environment that you're in. So we can go ahead and say, hey, guess what? We need our whole force to go ahead and be the color of the community which they serve. I would tell you that would go ahead, and you see those numbers going on with the FBI statistics. Not saying that it necessarily correlate or translate to that, but you can go ahead and make an argument or try to see, hey, guess what? I've seen a lot of black officers do wrong to their own kind in their own neighborhoods. So, and I've seen that where and conversely, and I will reverse this too. I have seen a lot of white officers not do anything because they were concerned about something, and they're no longer with us. So, and that you can reverse that in the white neighborhoods.
But let me ask you a question.
Being done in white neighborhoods and black neighborhoods. I will tell you that. Unfortunately, the more violent crimes are being done in social economic deprived areas, unfortunately. And this is where you see the over policing part being done. So I just want to leave you guys with that.
No, I believe in it. I understand it. You know what I mean? I understand gangs. I understand all that good stuff. I understand what's going on in our community, but I think that, just as black fathers, and we need to be as we need to have more community outreaches. I think the police department, like I commend a little small town that I went to school in called Griffin, because now they're having a community outreach with the fire department and the police, and they're having a softball game, and they're racing the police in the middle of the street, and then I'm talking about these are the guys that, would normally go to jail. But an officer also needs to understand, when you put them handcuffs on somebody, you ruining their life. I don't care if it's a disturbance. I don't care if it's a DUI. I don't care what it is. When you put your handcuffs on somebody, you know in your mind that you're ruining these folks' life. And some of these police are having court on the street. And I don't know if I know what I mean. Court on the street is when you don't make it to court. And some of these young men are not making it to court. And we're calling it homicide by suicide by an officer. I heard that stated. This guy committed suicide by an officer because he knew that the officer was going to shoot him, so he ran towards him.
Right. Well, I will tell you this, that your concerns are warranted. But I will tell you that by and large, as we take a look at the totality of the circumstances and the statistics in itself, we will see that those numbers are not indicative or high. They're low, but they are sensationalized. So, of course, when one of those things happen, of course, it's going to be all over the tabloids, and it should go ahead and serve. And I do believe that it should.
Red Dog.
Yeah, it needs to be put out there like that.
Red Dog.
But at the same time, is that our main problem when it comes to policing? I gander to say no. Actually, it's training and putting the right people in those places, whether it be black, white, or whatever. That's where you go ahead and affect the greatest change in those areas. It's not once they get out into the street, because that is a petri dish of nonsense out there. You have to go ahead and make sure that the people that you're putting into those areas are above the board first. That's where we're failing.
And I want to ask you a quick question before we end the show tonight. Are officers, when they first join the force, being asked questions like, are you racist? And are they having to take lie detector tests?
The answer to the first question, no.
And it should be.
Okay. The second question is, yes, they are taking lie detector tests. Now, I will tell you that they are able to take a battery of tests and also other psychological tests that is supposed to bring out those biases out, okay? But with anything in life, people are good test takers. They can go ahead and take those tests, and it can show that they do not have, let's call these symptoms, if you will. But herein lies the other part of that situation too, is that should we rely on just those tests alone? And the answer is probably not. We need to go ahead and do a little bit more than what we're doing. We probably have to go ahead and train these officers maybe up to a year and a half, maybe 2 years. Remember, 6 months is not a long time to teach officers just law alone. That's not enough time.
But do they become
law? You're trying to go ahead and teach them self-defense. You're trying to teach them all the nuances of the job in that pristine bubble inside of the police academy. It doesn't serve its purpose like the way it's supposed to. We got to reimagine how we train our law enforcement moving forward.
But do they become corrupt once they join the force?
I mean, what I think corrupts them is power, and that's how I see that. But that's, once again, I think that if you're already predisposed like that, then that's what you're going to be. It's almost like Oprah Winfrey once said that now that she has money, it really hasn't changed how she is. It changed everybody else. No, money will change you. If you get a whole bunch of it, it'll change. It'll change how you. Power does the same thing too. And if you're already predisposed and having a genteel way about yourself or genteel demeanor, then you're going to probably go ahead and be the same way. If you're already predisposed to having ill will intentions, you're gonna do that out there. That's just the way it is.
I think all police officers these physicals, psychological evaluations every Friday. Every Friday.
You're not wrong. I think that there needs to be way more than what there is.
You get a merit taken from you. Like, no, I'm being honest. Like,
I agree.
No. You know how to fix all this?
You're dealing with trauma every day.
I agree with you.
You're dealing with, even when you go see kids crying because their mom and dad is arguing. Even when you go see somebody laying in the street, you're dealing with trauma every day. You should be
absolutely.
You should really be evaluated.
You're not wrong.
You can't be a regular person. Now, can we give you more money? Of course. I think we need to give the people that are able to do this and pass these tests, like you said, people pass well, but now take them through the most tests and give them $200,000. Give every police officer $150,000, $200,000 a year. Now you can fire them for being a hater or going to bust Afroman and doing that. Now you can do. Now guess what? Now you get people that want to police their own neighborhood because they can make $150,000 to $200,000 a year going around shooting basketball with a kid. Hey, what's up, man? You all right? Let me see the basketball. Boo! You know what I mean? And they like, oh, that police officer.
So
like
Dondi,
Superman. We should look at our police officers like Superman.
So Dondi,
that's great. But there's another way to go. In addition to what you're saying,
everybody's not gangsters. Everybody's not drug dealers. Everybody's not trying to kill somebody. Everybody, look, we've been to the point that now we're locking people up for tickets. We're locking people up for arguing with their wife and husband. We're arguing people up for doing certain things. I'm talking about for long periods of times. We're locking people up for probation violations because they got pulled over because they got pulled over for whatever reason. Now it's we have a messed up probation officer. Now you get locked up. Now people are getting locked up for the most silliest things. Lock them up for violent crimes. Yes. Lock the gangbangers up. Yes. But the normal people, let them go and protect and serve them. That's it.
Well, there's, I think there's context to each and every one of those things. But I will tell you this. If you want to go ahead and change law enforcement, 100%, then what you need to do is have them carry insurance. And what I mean by that is this: just like real estate agents, when they have E&O, errors and omissions, okay, so do police officers. They need to have that too. And what that means is, hey, guess what? Every time you get a complaint about you, guess what? Your insurance now to police goes up. You go in and get convicted of something, of lying in court or anything like that, guess what? They uninsure you. You can no longer be a police officer.
And then you move to another county. They're moving to another county. I know an officer that killed somebody.
That's what I'm just saying, guy.
Over to the other county.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, guy.
Yeah.
This is not just for regional. I'm talking about this being national. So every time you do something that is grimy or you have too many demerits, you cannot be a police officer no more. That will change the whole entire landscape of law enforcement like that. That's how you do that.
So who's in charge of making that change?
It would be the Congress. You got to go to.
So we got to get. We got to get the right people in Congress.
You got to go ahead and get those individuals. And when we have a broken system right now, Congress. This is what becomes so frustrating about this.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
that's crazy. That's crazy. So real quick before we go, I know you got to go. I know you about to shut it down. But I would just suggest a rule change, and I want to take this to Congress and the law. I think when an officer locks somebody up, or an officer puts handcuffs on somebody, I don't feel that officer should be the one to transport the person to jail. I think there should be another officer called that don't have a dog in the fight, that didn't put the charges on the people, that be the person, take the person and escort that person to jail. Because what I'm seeing is a lot of people are getting extra charges after whatever they have with that officer because of how that officer feels. So I feel like, yes, an officer can lock somebody up for sure, but another officer from the police office has to come and pick that person up and transport that person to
Yeah, I
jail.
think that
I would
once
ask for
again,
that.
you're dealing with small time places where you live. In big cities, a wagon comes, they come get them.
I feel like Atlanta is the most safest place for a black man in the world. And in Georgia, I mean, in the United
In the
States.
world? Okay.
No, not in the world, but in the United States. And let me tell you why. Because if you go 30 minutes north, east, west, south, you're back in Georgia, where there's not a black judge, where there's not a black lawyer, where there's not black officers, where you're in Georgia, where they'll hang you for 15 years for having an ounce of marijuana. Like they'll put you in jail for that, you know. So that's why I feel like Atlanta, in Atlanta, we allow black men and black people to live good, to have things. We have black mayors, black judges, black congressmen, black everything. So that's why I love Atlanta for black men. So that's what I wanted to say.
What about black women?
I love it for black women too.
Okay.
Black women need to be anywhere
Don't
black men
exclude
are,
us.
because the man is the head, but a woman is always the black man's helper. You see what I'm saying?
Helper.
Yes, for sure. We need you to help us, for sure.
No, sir.
Yes. You expect us to go out. Now, let me ask you a question. If a big man running there right now in that room where you at, you're going to want your husband to help you, ain't you?
There's Smith and Wesson.
All right. Let's see. You want to do it by yourself. Your husband will come in there and take care of everything.
Well, he's going to protect me. But at the end of the day, what you're saying is male chauvinistic.
No, it's not. No,
yes, it is. Absolutely. To be his helper, we are equal.
That's what God says. This is what God says.
No.
This ain't what I say. This is what God says. Man is it, and a woman is his helper, and y'all could do. That's why Brock and Michelle are so great, because she understands.
And guess what? Michelle ain't gonna agree with that shit you just said.
Yes,
I'm gonna tell you that right now.
I guarantee she will. I guarantee she will.
You go do your research and read her book.
Okay. I'm just telling you.
Okay.
Okay.
But yes, guys, it's been a great show tonight, Jerome.
Yes.
We thank you for joining us. We thank you for enlightening us on this Afroman situation and even pertaining to the justice system overall. So guys, please go like and subscribe to Hill of Justice.
Hill of Justice.
Yes, and Jerome,
I'm definitely gonna do it.
Let the people know where they can find you on all platforms.
Obviously, you could go ahead and find us on YouTube. You also could go ahead and find us at every major streaming platform. That's Apple Podcasts. You could go ahead and iHeartRadio, so on and so forth. We are all over the spectrum. So please, when you get a chance, go ahead and check out our show and debate with us. We love that. And we need that type of stuff.
Let me come on there and debate with you, man.
Sure.
I'm on your side, though. I want to let you know I'm on your side, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Thank you, man. You look just like me, man. So I want you to succeed, bro, in every way, form, of the fashion, man. And man, blessings to you, brother.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for joining us tonight on The Truth Ain't in Us. We will be back next week, same time, different topics.